Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60, and this is going to be the first drive on the Chinese brakes. Now, things you need to know. I have only bled it manually. I've not done the proper ABS bleed, so that may be an issue and it's something I may need to sort out. However, there shouldn't have been any air gotten anywhere near the ABS pump, so hopefully that's all fine. The other thing, I still don't have the right bracket on the rear discs, on the rear calipers. So I'm not doing anything aggressive. I'm just going to literally cruise down the road at 50 kilometers an hour and just make sure they do what they're supposed to do. We left it on the hoist after the last brake video for just over 24 hours, just to make sure there was no leaks. And we did put full pressure on the pedal and it was absolutely fine. Nothing's leaking. The only thing that I'm aware of right now is that rear brake caliper bracket, which is a bit of a mouthful. Something else you guys do need to keep in mind. Oh, it just looks, man, I'm loving what this car's looking like. It actually looks like it might go fast now. Yeah, something else to keep in mind with these brakes, they have a much bigger piston surface area. So even if the system is bled completely perfectly, the pedal is going to feel softer than it did before. I know we've got steel lines, but because I've still got the same size piston in the master cylinder, but I'm moving much larger pistons in the calipers. And like the fronts, obviously we've got 6 rather large pistons, and then the back we've got 4 large pistons compared to what was on there. So we've got much more leverage on the brake pedal, so that may be why it feels a bit spongy. Now bringing it down from the shed, just idling, it did feel spongy, but I locked the wheels up twice on the grass, so it's taking a lot less force to stop the wheels from spinning. I guess I got to stop talking about it and go and take it for a drive. Now, before I go straight out on the road, I am going to have a quick go on the test track. Just make sure the ABS pulses as it should. You guys are coming along for the ride. I say test track. I'm sure our landlord's going to get mad with us because we keep doing skids on the grass soon. Somebody had an all-wheel drive Evo out here yesterday. Anyway, we'll get a little bit of speed up. Get up to, that's about 20 kilometers an hour, and emergency stop, or just ABS pulsed perfectly. Okay, so it locked up nearly straight away. That was about half, I was gonna say half pedal movement. Yeah, the pedal didn't get all the way to the ground before, but it didn't even get that far down before the ABS cut in. So maybe it is working. Yeah, it felt pretty good pulling up to that stop point there. Oh, man, this car's been on the hoist for a week because of these China brakes, and I miss it. Okay. They feel pretty good. I'd say that was a third pedal travel. They feel fine. I'm not doing hard brakes, but it's stopping quite well. I can hear something rubbing in the back. I'm guessing that's a dust shield. That's an easy fix. We'll brake going uphill. ABS. Damn, that means it's locking the tires up with very, very little pedal force, which is what these brakes are supposed to do. Don't know if you guys can hear that rubbing in the back. It stops quite well. It's better than I thought it was going to stop. I don't want to go home. I just want to keep driving. Yeah, she's definitely grinding in the back. I'm positive that will be the dust cover. When I cut the dust cover on the rear brakes, because the calipers are much larger, the first one I did mention it in the video, but it was a bit of a hack job. Oh, got a car coming. So I bet I just haven't clearanced it well enough. The right-hand side is not making noise, it is just the left. Traffic, what the hell? Yeah, she's stopping well. And ABS again. Wow, okay, it doesn't take much brake pedal force to activate the ABS on the road. So We're definitely getting more brake pressure getting to the tyres, I think. That's probably not the right terminology for it. But it's stopping the car quite well. And even though the pedal obviously doesn't feel as... It felt... Don't get me wrong, I liked the standard brakes, but it's like a... It's not a numb feeling, but they didn't feel like good brakes, but they're a bit dead. It was like a dead pedal. It didn't feel like race car brakes. This now feels super gradual, and the car slows down faster than I expect it to. Look, I'm pretty happy with it right now. Let's get out and just make sure there's no visual issues with anything, like brake fluid peeing out of a caliper. That one's all good. Rotor is still connected. And not that bad. Yeah. Rotor's okay. Obviously this is not bedding them in. They wouldn't have gotten hot doing what I just did. All I'm doing is just making sure that they're gonna be sort of safe to go and do some more serious driving. Yeah, they work. Damn, yeah, everything looks fine. No visual leaks. All right. So first test drive on them, they passed. Yeah, all right. I guess from here, I'm gonna get it back on the hoist, see if we can work out what's going on with that heat shield, not the heat shield, the dust cover. And after that, it might be time for an even more serious stop. Although I don't want to push them too hard until I've got the right brackets, because we're not getting proper pad coverage on that rear rotor. But in regards to the pad compound, that was biting quite well. I'm going to cut the video off here. You'll see the next segment when I work out what that grinding noise is, but I might just take it for another quick drive. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the shed in a little while. So you may have noticed I'm wearing a different shirt. It is the next day. Before I actually brought the car in and put it on the lift again, I did get David to have a drive, just to get his opinion on what he thought of the pedal, just to make sure I'm not going crazy or anything like that, and he said pretty much the same thing. It's bizarre how easy you can stop this car now with such little pedal force, but it's not like that firm pedal that I was kind of expecting. But from what I've read, that may just be a characteristic of going to such large calipers. It's something we're going to have to look into. Like I said yesterday, I still haven't done the IMPA brake bleed. And on that, a lot of people are saying bleed it with IMPA, bleed it with IMPA, bleed it with IMPA. Why? Why does it make a difference? There shouldn't be any air near the ABS pump. So the ABS pump shouldn't need to be bled. A little bit of fluid come out of both left-hand side calipers when I was swapping them over, and you could see that come out when we were pumping, but we never lost like more than a third of the reservoir at the front of the car. So I can't see how the air would have managed to make its way all the way back up to the ABS pump, but if there is more reasoning behind it, I'd love to hear it. Anyway, so this wheel is the one that I could hear on that drive yesterday, and I'm not sure if it would have even been picked up in the camera. So when I was actually fitting them, the car was always in park, so I couldn't really spin the wheels, spin the rear rotors more than about that much. And if you move them like that, it just sort of sounds like maybe pads are rubbing on the disc. But if we give it a big spin, you can hear it there. Now I'm pretty confident that's going to be the dust cover on the back, which I had to cut to fit the bigger caliper in. I'll get it up in the air and we'll see if we can see what's rubbing. So you can see a nice ring on the anodizing just here where it's been rubbing, and it's actually that little point there. Sorry, you probably can't see, but it's that little point just in front of my fingernail that was just rubbing on there. Now this trim here I didn't actually cut or modify, but when I was levering the bracket in there, I bet I've just nicked it and moved it forwards a bit. So I've just got to move it back about 1 mil and we should be sorted. So I clearanced it and it now just sounds more like a normal handbrake spin around. So that is good. Now I actually checked the other side as well, and it was also just rubbing. Not as bad as the left side, but I could see a little part on the inside of the hub. And I just thought while we are in here, we need to check all of the fittings, hoses, everything, and everything is still dry. So no leaks, which is what we want. Yeah, the fronts are all good as well. Now, one thing I did do, I've actually pulled off, not myself for once, but the rubber caps on the bleed nipples. You might not have known, but in the first video I did, when I first put oil into these, there was actually a fair bit of oil that came out of the threads. Now, when I bled them, I didn't remove these caps. Obviously I removed the top, I didn't remove the bottom part, and oil has seeped down and then down into the thread. So I've actually just taken off all 8 and cleaned out with brake clean inside there, because there was still a little bit of residue just under this little seal here. All right, so from this point on, I still haven't done that imper brake bleed. I might just do it. I've got imper and inper or whatever the hell it is, the icon sitting over there ready to go. But I'm gonna go and take it for a bit of a drive, and I'll give you an update what it drives like when you see me next. Damn, this thing's quick. Well, I've been pretty slack. I've been in this car for nearly 4 hours, and it's just good to have it back. It was a week without being able to drive it. Now, not only did I bed the brakes in, I've done nearly 100 kilometers in it, and I also put some E60 fuel back in it, so I've got my 27 PSI back, and I was just having a blast. I should have done more filming. I'm sorry I didn't film more, but I was just out enjoying the car, and yeah, all of a sudden 4 hours has dissolved. So in summary, the brakes at this point in time, I never did the ISTA bleed, but they feel pretty much perfect. I couldn't ask for a better pedal feel. It's still a more gradual pedal, but when you're doing 100 kilometers an hour, it feels awesome. You get so much, oh look, I don't want to say like a dickhead, but I've got more confidence in them. Like, the more you push the brakes, the more the car slows down. End of story. I didn't jump on the brakes like when we were doing the brake tests, because I was trying to sort of stop safely from speed. And don't get me wrong, I haven't done a brake from 200 k's an hour yet either. But generally, using the brakes, I haven't been into town or anything, but all these back roads I've just been driving and having a bit of a hoon on, feels good. I should have gone to the town to get the fuel, but yeah, it feels quite good. Parking this thing, pedal feels good. I can get away without doing the M3 master cylinder, which is awesome and what we need to do. Moving forwards, now that I've got so many Ks on these brakes, I do need to just give it another check tomorrow. I'm gonna actually get onto the diff tomorrow morning, I hope. Fingers crossed. But yeah, just give them another check, make sure the lines are good, and then I'm probably gonna leave it at that until I get the new brackets. Now, I have heard from Diagnostics, and they've actually said they're gonna ship the brackets today. Today is Wednesday. They come with FedEx priority. So there's a small chance I might get them by Friday. We'll see, fingers are crossed, but who knows. They said they're also sending an apology as well, a gift, so I'd be interested to see what they send. But yeah, using the brakes in this chassis, everything seems fine, no issues with it. Even just driving these back roads that I've just been doing today, I'm not pushing aggressively like you would on a track. Like, it's just spirited driving. It's the sort of driving that the standard brakes would be more than capable of doing, and it's not like, they probably don't even get hot, but it's what you sort of do when you're having a bit of fun. That's all I can sort of put it down to. I will get some more footage of that once everything is engineered and once I've got the proper brackets on the back. But until then, I'm pretty happy with the brakes. Yeah, now with the logo, I was thinking of going 60 to 0, but I'm thinking now of just putting zeros, like Z-E-R-O. Let me know what you think, just as a brand of brakes. And Dave will put the same on his E39, so we can both have 0 brakes, because we're from 60 to 0, 0 to 60, I don't know. I need to get some food. I've been driving for so long. All right, guys, look, thank you very much for watching if you made it this far. But yeah, as an update on the brakes, first drive, not caning them, but spirited driving. They feel really good. No complaints with them, and they do look good. I felt quite cool at the service station. Yep, I'm that guy. Anyway, look, I'll catch you on the next one. Team M54, peace, drive safe, and we'll catch you on the next one.